Alright everybody, welcome to our O'Keefe Ranch Task Manager. So this is the home page. It's where you'll get brought to if you're not logged in yet. So let's log in. Let's just give a dummy password for now. It's because if we click login with the wrong information, it'll tell you that it's an invalid email or password, because it's supposed to be an email as the username, but since we're just doing testing purposes, I just have my email, or my username is my name. So Kevin, put the right password, log in. Okay, perfect. So this is the task dashboard that you'll be brought to. You can see that you'll have different navigation buttons. My tasks takes you to my task, all tasks, views all tasks, unassigned and completed, and repeating. Completed and repeating are navigation options for elevated privileges, which are managers and admin. Regular staff will not have these views. They will also not be able to create tasks, so only managers can create the task. So right now, let's go ahead and create a task. Let's say a new task, assign it to myself, and make the category programming medium, give it a due date, and let's make the task a recurring task every 2 days with a sample description. Click save, and there's our new task assigned to myself, and it's not started. If we click view task, we'll be able to see all the information about this task, and you can see that this task has been seen by Kevin because I just opened it. If we were to say assign it to somebody else, let's say assign it to Dake, and we click save, then we'll see that now if we view task, the seen by is no longer there because Dake has not seen this task. We can also edit task information here, so let's say we wanted to change it to front of the house and change priority to high with a due date of 23. We can click save, and all the information has now been changed. We can also update the task status here, or we can update the task status here. By clicking the drop down task status, we can change it to in progress, and we can see that the task is now in progress. If we click on repeating tasks, you'll see that the task is there because it's a repeating task, and we can also set this to no longer repeating. And once we set it to no longer repeating, we can see that it's no longer in the repeating tasks column. And if we set the status to complete, we'll be able to see that it changes to complete. And if we refresh the page and go to completed tasks, we can see that a new task is now there. So all good. That is how you're able to use the task dashboard. Now let's move on to managing an account. So if we click manage account here, again, as a manager with elevated privileges, you'll be able to see all the different users in the system. You can create a user. So let's try to create a user, test at user. So this is first name, test user. My test email is test@user.com. Department, groundskeeping, password. And you can see when you're creating the password, it checks if your password matches for you. And as soon as you enter the password that matches, it'll disappear. Click save, and it will give you a notification on top to let you know that the user has been created. So now we can look at this test user and edit him, and we can see all the different details for this user. We can edit the user and change the first name, the last name, and the department. We're also able to reset this user's password by clicking reset password if we wanted to. And we're also able to set them as a manager to give them elevated privileges. But we'll do that later. But for now, let's log out, and let's log in as this test user. Seem to have forgotten the password already. Oh, there you go. Okay. So test user is logged in. Because this is a staff account or a regular account, it doesn't have access to completed tasks and repeating tasks, and it also doesn't have access to creating a task. Because the user doesn't have any tasks assigned to them, it'll be empty here because the default for test user is my tasks, but they can always click on all tasks and be able to see everything there. and they're also able to click on unassigned tasks. Now, a user, if they're not assigned to a task, they'll not be able to edit the task. So now if this user tries to click on a new task and views it, you can see that the delete and edit button are gone because this user does not have access to this task since it's not assigned to them. Likewise, if they go to manage account, they can only edit themselves. They do not have any privileges to view any of the other accounts. They can also not change the password. They can't delete the account, and they can't set admin privileges to the account, but they can still edit their information like so. And now if we go back to home, another feature in the tasks table is you can filter, or you can sort by column name. You can also search. So if we wanted to look for a task that has task in it, then we can just search task, but everything pretty much has that. We can also say snow if we're only looking for snow, or we can filter by person. So if we only look for Kevin, and we can also filter by date if we want to see only ones that have April. There's also pagination, so that if you want to limit your view to only 10 entries, you can do so. That's by default. If you want to limit your view to 100, you can also do that, and it'll show up to 100. Now let's log out, log back in as the admin account. Click login. It seems like I cannot type my password incorrectly today. Alright, there you go. Now if we now go to manage account and grant this test user elevated privileges by setting them as a manager, we'll get a prompt and click OK to confirm. We'll get the prompt that says this has been successful. And now if we were to log into the test user again, we can see that they have elevated privileges now. They have completed tasks, repeating tasks, create tasks. They can also view and edit tasks as appropriate, so they can assign this to themselves, for example. And there you go. And when they click manage account, they're also able to view all the different accounts. Now they can also delete an account. So if test user wants to delete, they can delete themselves, or they can remove manager privileges from themselves. But let's say they delete, they'll just prompt you to see if you want to delete, and since they're deleting themselves, it will bring you back to the login page. Now let's log back in, and there we go. That is our task management system for O'Keefe Ranch. And log out.